Hey everyone, Pastor KP here. Hope all is well with you, and I hope you are staying strong in the Lord. Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Silent Majority. That's right, on this channel here, I'm talking all things about being a Seventh-day Adventist Christian and being a Seventh-day Adventist pastor. And, I encourage you to subscribe, like, share, subscribe. All right. Leave a comment as well so that I know what your thoughts are, what you're thinking about certain things that I say, of course, and maybe certain things that you're talking about. So this is the early part now. This is the early part of my the videos that I'm sharing with you. I should have posted some things before, but I was under the weather a bit, and there are lots of things happening, so I couldn't sit down to focus to talk to you properly. But here I am, I'm back. In my previous videos, I've told you that, I'm not coming negative, I'm coming positive. I'm coming to share, I'm coming to have a discussion, a conversation, to explain as best as I can, and to give you some insights into what it is like to be a Seventh-day Adventist and a Seventh-day Adventist pastor. All right. There are lots of negative things out there, and I don't want to get into that. I just want to spend time, having some good conversations, man, and telling you some things. And there are lots of things happening in the Adventist world, in the Christian world, and I want to get into, but I just wanted to take the time to develop, my early theological experience. So last video I spoke about was the call, dealing with the call, but I'm talking about going to Oakwood now, or my academic experience. Went to Oakwood 4 years and Andrews University for 3 years. Well, Oakwood was a little bit more because I had to do some things in order to get up to speed. So let's get to that. I don't want to waste time. Got there, I told you about getting ready, gotten that call. Am I coming? Greyhound bus, whole bunch of Canadians, students and their guardians or family members, head down to Huntsville, Alabama, man. Nice drive, interesting drive. It was surreal for me because I've never been outside of Canada for any extended period of time. So the whole going from Canada, Toronto, Canada, to Oakwood, like 16-hour drive. I was just still trying to wrap my head around it. Some individuals from my home church, Bethel Church, they went down there with me as well. Won't call their names, right? So it was, I got to meet individuals that even though I was a young Canadian Seventh-day Adventist, I didn't know these individuals. They're from other churches, and it was just nice interacting with them and their families and getting to know them. And but obviously a lot of them had some connections with each other because they either all went to the same church or churches, or they were hanging with each other from the different churches. So I didn't have that experience while I was growing up in Canada. I just stuck to my church. There were one or two individuals that I got to know, but the friendship group wasn't really broad. I didn't have a car or family members to take me around to different churches, so I just stuck in one particular area. Surreal just to be going, surreal just to be seeing all these individuals, and we're all heading down to Oakwood. I've never heard of Oakwood before prior to the call that I got about whether or not I'm coming. I didn't know about much about Adventist education, with the exception of the local schools that were there in Toronto. And so when I got there, it was raining. It was a long trip. I was a bit tired. I had to go into this test, man, for like a number of hours. It was so traumatic, but went in there, did what I had to do. I didn't do too well on that placement test, or that, I think it's ACT. That's what it was, the ACT test. I should have done that before. Once again, I missed that deadline, so when I got there, I had to do it. And because I didn't do too well, I had to take some prerequisites in order to get into the theology program and the prerequisites. The terrible thing about it was that, you feel kind of bad because, there are lots of things that I should have known or I should have been doing better at, but high school was kind of rough and I didn't necessarily have the foundation that I needed. So when I got there, they did the testing, I had to do the prerequisites. The prerequisites don't count towards graduation, or they don't go towards my major. So I had to clear that for almost a whole semester. There are one or two classes that I did take that counted towards graduation, but the majority of them were the prerequisites, right? That's something that so do well in school, right? As far as your high school experience is concerned, if you're gonna go into any college or university, right? You're gonna have to upgrade yourself a little bit. But I think, things being online now, you get this information a lot better and people are more tech savvy, so you can do some research. But it wasn't like that at that time for me. So I had to learn how to arrange my schedule, how many credit hours I could take, sitting down with my advisor or my professors and talking to them about what I need to do, how I have to arrange my schedule, discipline myself. I was mainly focused on sports and I wasn't strong. I didn't have a strong drive when it comes to academics, and I didn't have a lot of focus, and I wasn't disciplined. I got some good advice though. One advice I remember from a friend of mine, shout outs to Wilbert Favors. Wilbert said to me, man, as soon as you finish your class, review your notes. That's something that I took all the way through Oakwood, and even when I went to Andrews as well, right? In terms of helping me to do well while I was there. Learning the classes, reading about the classes and deciphering what it is. Do I want to take it this semester or wait for the next semester? There are lots of arranging that you have to do, and you're an adult now. You have to navigate. You can't call mommy. You can lean on some friends or lean on some individuals that did the program before, so they can tell you, okay, what the class was like, what the professor was like. They have a book that they can give to you. They have notes, perhaps. Just share their experiences. I have to situate myself in the dorm. I have a roommate now. I have to work the dynamics of the roommate situation as well. And like I said, just stay focused and stay disciplined and study. Greek was difficult. You're learning a dead ancient language, so a lot of memorization. You didn't have to take Hebrew. So the biblical languages had to do with Greek and Hebrew. You didn't have to take Hebrew at the time. But I enjoyed the classes because I was learning so much and I'm being exposed to so much when I wasn't before. Oakwood is a HBCU. That's something that I was also learning a lot about, whether it's individuals from church history, Christian history, and who were black. Cyprian, Augustine was there are some other figures, man, that I learned about in church history who were black, and even the Bible itself, and understanding that not everybody in there. It's just amazing, that you grew up in a certain environment, and even though you're a black person, you never really understood that there were individuals like me, or who were black in the Bible and from church history. That was an interesting thing. Learn about black preaching, right? Black singing, Black History Month, pastors and preachers who were popular in Adventism passed through Oakwood. You got exposed to them. They would come and talk to you, and learning how to preach and develop a sermon and things of that nature. There are lots of things that I had to navigate while I was there, and you have to grow up fast, and you have to do it right, because if you mess these things up, guess what? It costs money, or if you have to repeat a class, or things of that nature, right? So you had to be disciplined, you had to be focused, you have to think about your future. At the same time, you're trying to graduate. You're not coming here to waste time. You can't be distracted by girls or distracted by, you know, friends who are trying to pull you off to go preach here and preach there because they think that they're pastors and all these different things. You know, there was another side of Oakwood that you wouldn't often hear about, and had to navigate, you know, all these different things while I went there. But it was a great experience, a good experience, right? So what I'll do is that I'll share some more. I don't want this video to go too long, but that's how I got there, and that's how things were. I was just basically navigating, getting to know things, getting to know the area, getting to know my classes, my professors, getting to know people, you know, forming friendships. And in doing that, man, I was getting that Oakwood experience that people often talk about. All right, so we'll pick up on this in another video, and then we'll talk some more. Stay blessed. KP here from the Majority Report. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment as well. Only what you do for Christ will last. Peace.